He's now settling for second spot. Hamilton has picked up the reins since the restart. He's chased down the prancing horse. He chases the checkered flag. He wins the British Grand Prix for an 8th time here at Silverstone. And Hamilton is back in the championship hunt. Don't you forget it.
Yes! What a race! Oh my God, it was insanity! That first lap was, wow, holy scamoles, I don't know, man. That was, wow. Welcome to In the Paddock F1, Greeny and the Cheese. That was David Croft's call on Sky Sports, courtesy of Formula1.com. We are at Silverstone, the home of the first Grand Prix in Formula One in 1950, on the border of Buckinghamshire and Northamptonshire. Northamptonshire, known for being the home of Doc Martens Carlsberg beer and the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith. Did you know that, sir? And it's also the resting place of Princess Diana. How about that, my friends? Buckinghamshire, known for its natural beauty, the rolling hills of the English countryside. That's why they film there. That's why they film movies such as James Bond, my personal favorite, Star Wars, kids. Yes, that's right, Star Wars. And TV shows such as Killing Eve, and of course the British classic Midsummer Murders. Yes, what a race. Silverstone always brings it. Michael, good evening.
I don't know if we're listening to a National Geographic, like 101 on the history of Buckinghamshire, or a F1 post-race, because we are F1 post-race Silverstone. This is Greeny. I'm here with the Cheese in the Paddock F1. Yeah, rich in history, Buckinghamshire. I'm sure there's some ancient history there you're missing. You're going with the modern cultural history, but it really is quite a historical place there. And
you are correct, sir, but we're just keeping it a little modern, a little fun, give a little lesson on where we are.
Relevance. A little modern day
relevance, you know, before we kick the tires and light the fires, getting into the insanity of this race. The first lap was, wow. Thank God Max is okay after a 51G impact. Wow. I did a little research on that. I'm not going to lie. Only thing I could find was a test done by a U.S. Air Force pilot with 46.2G impact, and they mapped it at around 7,700 pounds. So I'm going to guess Max got about an 8,000 pound hit today. And then away we went. Charles Leclerc. I was on the edge of my seat to the end of that race. I'm not going to lie. I was, come on, man. I was giving the come on, man. Didn't have the pace on the hards. I was hoping for that Ferrari win. I was pulling hard. Didn't get it. Lewis ran him down. But wow, what a race. That half of first lap was completely ridiculous.
Yeah, the Mercedes took it home. I mean, I guess that's the story, as we've been talking about for weeks now. That gap has been really, really close, and now 7 points separates Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen going into Hungary next, right? Yes. So
yes, the Hungaroring.
So Gary going into the Hungaroring in 2 weeks. This is where we have it. We are looking like it is going to be a race, but first and foremost, we want to make sure Max Verstappen as well. Hopefully the next 24 to 48 hours, we'll get a little more information on his condition. Once again, you know, he was crash test dummy. That was crash test dummy speed, and that's a little scary to watch. He went fast, and I mean, it was hard to even react. It was hard to even react as that tire just fell right apart. And it looked like the perfect hit, the perfect glance of the tires getting together. And, what do you think? I mean, first glance, it looked like it was an okay pass by Lewis. You go further on investigation, he gets a 10-second penalty, proves to be just a stumbling block in his way to another victory on the season, first in a while. But I think we got to go a little bit here under investigation. Lay it out for me, Cheese.
I do not think the penalty was severe enough. I don't think it was severe enough. I think they should have given, instead of the 10-second penalty, which you just sit in the pits for 10 seconds and then they can work on the car on your next stop. Or if you don't stop when the penalty's given, you just get it added to the end of the race. I think he should have at least gotten a drive-through, or even possibly more severely, a stop and go, which is either you have to, a drive-through, you just have to drive through the pits at pit lane speed, or a stop and go, which is you have to come down pit lane, go into your box, stop, release, nobody can touch the car, so you can't do any pit work or anything, and then out. I don't think the penalty fit the crime. The 10-second penalty goes with what they've been giving in recent races, but in recent races, the driver, when they've given that penalty, the other driver who was impeded was not taken out of the race. This is cops. This corner is 180 miles an hour, flat out. Lewis was not on the apex. Max was giving him room. Lewis didn't give him room. With the way the cars were going, Lewis really would have had to lift for a split second or get off to half throttle to probably be able to keep that going, and then Max would have kept on going on the outside. So he wasn't going to be able to make the pass. He wasn't in front of him, and I don't think the penalty was severe enough. That was a dangerous move at a dangerous corner to be trying to stick your nose in like that.
Yeah, it was wrong place, wrong time. You can't do that, especially going into cops. That was a tough spot. I mean, you don't want to see a race pretty much end in, turn 6, but what a few crazy first few turns we had there. I mean, it mimicked what we had in the sprint race. Dare I say its name? And it was just so exciting to see the beginning of that race, and then it just falls apart just instantly. I mean, you think you're watching something all-time epic about to go down. Like, you feel it. You feel that you got an all-time epic battle going down at Silverstone, at the legendary Silverstone, and it just falls apart. It just unravels like that. And then Lewis gets the win. It's almost like bittersweet, right? I mean, Leclerc had every opportunity to chase him down. Perez just did nothing all day. And the best cars couldn't chase him down. Bottas couldn't chase him down. And then Hamilton just perseveres and wins the race. It was a great race by Lewis, a much needed win by Lewis, but under the circumstances, just wacky race, just crazy race on a crazy weekend. And I don't know if it's the F1 gods talking here, but I mean, everything put together, just legendary in its own way. And we'll see what a great almost apex of the season here, as we're almost at the halfway point of the season. And it really just feels like we're in for a great second half. And as we talked about a few weeks ago, it really felt like this might just go Max's way. And now, I mean, let's see. And first of all, 48 hours from now, I want to see how Max is. And then we'll go from there. But right now, if everyone's well, we're in for a great rest of the season. Let me tell you that, brother.
Well, no reports of any broken bones or anything for Max, no concussion, which is absolutely amazing considering a 51G impact. The man will be sore tomorrow. I'm sure he's got a lot of bumps and bruises. But it's now on. Mercedes really needed a Red Bull DNF act, to get back into it with the 32-point lead I think Max had before this race. I do not think a driver who had a 32-point lead at any point in a Formula season has ever lost a championship. So that's something to think of. It's a big hit to Max's life because he's out there in front. He possibly doesn't get past. So he might go on to win that race if they don't clip tires. So it's back on. It gives Mercedes a little momentum, but I think it also fires up Red Bull because Christian Horner was spitting fire during the race, on the radio to Massey during the race, and then after the race in his interview, he was spitting fire, and he even said this is going to fire us up even more because they're looking at it as it was absolutely dirty, which I don't think that was any intention of it. It was just guys, they're going at it and they don't want to, nobody's giving an inch, but sometimes you have to give an inch especially when you're not on the proper line, which Lewis was not. He missed that apex. But it's back on. You've seen this in the past with, classic clashes between drivers in Formula One, bumping tires and knocking each other out and things like that do happen, but it's not what you want to see. You want to see these guys wheeling, going side by side. But it does make things very interesting going forward in the rest of the season now, since it's now back up close.
It is back up close. And as we get a little bit closer and a little more interesting, a little something different as we predicted a vanilla race today, and it was anything but that. We're going to come back in a minute with some winners. We got some losers and somebody this week. Get out the baby powder. Got to slap yourself in the face. In the paddock, F1, Greeny and the Cheese. Back after this. What's up, everyone? Greeny from In the Paddock here. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Please let me explain. It's free. Okay, free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you for free, so it can be heard on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many, many more. You can make money as well. Money with your podcast. No minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. We are back, F1 Lunatics, Greeny the Cheese in the paddock. F1. We got some winners and losers tonight. Outside of the race winner, Lewis Hamilton winning it on his home turf after back-to-back wins in Max's home turf. And as we stand here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in New York City, Max seems to be still in the hospital, but under observation, hasn't gone home yet. But everything seems to be checked out fine. So thank goodness for that. As you say, he's probably going to be sore in the morning, but, he's still a young guy.
Very sore. Very sore in the morning. Very sore.
That was a crash test dummy kind of moment. But other than that, those are some really big winners and really big losers between Lewis and Max this week. What else we got, man? I think we went with losers last week. So let's go flip-flop back to winners.
All right, we're going to go with winners this week. I got two for you, so I'm going to leave you a little something so I don't pick up everything and don't leave you with a crumb or two. We're going to go with Yuki Tsunoda getting a top 10 finish after starting 16th. Yuki throwing in a nice drive. And my main winner this week, it's coming. The man who drove the red car, Driver of the day, Charles Leclerc. Great start from Charles. Gets up to third after the incident between Max and Lewis. And Lewis had slowed. Charles gets up into first. Safety car just come out, but he did leave 50 laps, I do believe, before Lewis finally passed him and ran him down. Incredible drive from Charles in the Ferrari. The Ferrari is definitely getting better. It's great to see. Charles is ridiculous at the wheel in this thing. I was really hoping he could pull it out. But Maranello and Ferrari should be proud of themselves today because that was an incredible drive. Incredible drive. And those will be my 2 winners this week.
Yeah, those are some great picks. A couple other ones. I mean, you definitely got to look at Lance Stroll this week. Not great all weekend, and then coming through, finishing in the top 10, as well as Carlos Sainz, the other pony, the one that's not Charles in charge. If you go back that far.
Oh, I do, sir.
Oh, I do, sir. And if you go back further, all the way back to the days of Chachi.
I'm not that old.
I'm not that old. Don't age me like that. All right. And those are some winners. That means we got some losers.
I got 2, but they're kind of one and the same. We got Red Bull in general. Max gets knocked out, so that's a major blow because that's a point. That's constructors' points that Max is always going to give you. And Perez, who did absolutely nothing, had to do the 2 stops. I think they tried to throw another stop in there to try and take away the fastest lap from Lewis. But he was just burning up his tires, which is actually kind of weird to see from Checo. Checo's usually really good on his tires in a race. And they had to bring him in early. I believe he started on the hards at the back, and he came in almost when some guys had come in that were on the mediums. So he was burning those tires up. So therefore he finished way in the back. No points there either for Red Bull. So it's a massive gain for Mercedes. That's just an overall just bad end of the weekend for Red Bull. Just total disaster. Absolute disaster.
Yeah,
that's what I got for you for losers.
You knew you were going to have a tough week coming off your home turf. I mean, it's just wild that you have back-to-back races in the Red Bull ring, and you just pile on the points. And then as soon as you leave that ring out of the comfort of your home to the roaring fans, I mean, you thought it was loud at the Red Bull ring for Max. It was loud for Lewis, man. It was loud. They came out for the sprint race and were loud for Lewis. So that was some home turf, some home cooking. That's right. Some real UK home cooking coming back there. So definitely a big advantage for Lewis as he chases down Charles and takes first. Charles second. I mean, just for him to be coming in second and lead for 50 laps, I don't think we can overlook that the whole day.
Driver of the day.
Just what a day once again. Finally, another podium, and Charles Leclerc
first of the year for the Scuderia.
Yeah, and Charles is looking good, man. Looking good. So great weekend for him. And
Charles is first of the year. Charles is first of the year.
And the McLarens as well. I mean, something we didn't mention is the McLarens and Danny's back. You know, we threw him into the losers every single week, but now that, finally he's scoring points once again, 5th place. And I mean, great job on the McLarens. Crazy day, wild day, definitely not what we predicted. And we'll get to our predictions in the next segment. But before we get to that, just like we have after every race, somebody's going to have to slap themselves. Get that baby powder out.
I need to slap my goddamn self for that.
Oh, man.
Who is it?
Oh, man. It was a tough one this week because there wasn't a lot out there this week. Usually there's something stupid that happens, but not really too much this week. So unfortunately, we're going to give the slap my own damn self award to Sebastian Vettel. Spun himself out, had to retire after I think he caused some damage to the car, spinning out there. It was actually in a really good spot there because he, started the race pretty high up and then spin yourself out, end up in the back of the pack, all the way to the back. Not a good thing. Retire. Awful, awful weekend. He's back to spinning the car out. Come on, Seb. We love you, Seb. We can't be having this. So get out that powder and slap your own damn self.
I completely disagree with you. You're going soft there. That was a straight up slap yourself in the face. That was not like, oh, I don't know who to choose. The guy was racing top 10. He was going for points. He's going for points, and he spins out. In the fourth lap. After the restart, spins himself out. That's a straight up baby powder up, slap your damn self in the face. Because, yeah,
yes,
that was no good.
Bring
that
it,
was
son.
no good.
Bring it.
You were too
Bring
soft.
that fire.
You were too soft.
Bring that fire. Bring it.
This guy was hitting a podium a couple races ago, and now he's spinning out. Unforced error.
Yeah.
Unforced error. Slap yourself in the face. Don't go easy on him. That's all I got.
Went a little easy as a former Ferrari driver. I went a little soft.
You went a little.
I like how you came in there with the fire and the fury and the thunder. You don't usually give the fire and fury and the thunder very often. You got to bring it more. I love it. Spitting those flames. Coming in there hard. Saying, get the heck out of town, son. What you talking about? Get out of here. Get out of the seat. What you talking about? Knock me out the chair. I like it.
Get out of my chair. No, I mean, listen, you're right a lot of times. This time you weren't. So I had to call you out.
I like it. Call me out.
That's all.
Call me out.
Well, I mean, you might be calling me out in a few minutes here as we get to the next segment because we got Greenybucks coming out. And talk about a vanilla afternoon. It wasn't. So we're going to get back to you as Cheese laughs, and he's going to laugh for probably the next 20 to 30 minutes. He's going to sound like that. He's going to sound like that. So if you want to hear more of that, stay tuned. Stay with us in the paddock, Greeny and the Cheese. Back after this.
Yes, welcome back in the paddock, F1, Greeny and the Cheese. Britain is where we are. Silverstone is where we race today. Oh, it's become one of my favorite segments of the week. I'm not going to lie. This is where I get to gloat like a SOB, to be honest, because we are cashing in or checking out. And boy, it was ugly this week, boys and girls. Everybody all around. Big, fat can of nope. All losers, but because I have a brain, as I am Lord or King of Greentopia. So, Michael, you can kiss the ring. I'm going to do a little arms next to the shoulder thing right here, if you could see it. Because I have a strategy and I keep to it. Mike's all over the place. Greeny's a lunatic, and he sure took a slap in today. I'm watching that race, and after that half-lap incident, after I saw Max was okay, I didn't cheer or laugh because of what had happened. But I could probably laugh now, since to see Max is okay. And if I'm not mistaken, sir, you dropped 100 Greenybucks on that bad boy, hoping to gain a couple Beanos back. But now you're digging that hole a little bit deeper. And I'm scooting away a little bit further. You're going to be asking for a loan soon, son, I'm predicting. Ain't that tough, kid?
The person who came up with the phrase, there's no such thing as a free lunch, they were right this time. They were absolutely right this time. There is no such thing as a free lunch. I bet big on Max, just trying to cushion a little bit here and with the undercut. And that's why it's called gambling. Because sometimes you gamble and you win, and sometimes Max crashes out in the first lap. And that's it. So, yeah, I mean, we can get to the grand totals. Because you also had Max to win, but I had, 5 times your bet. So, therefore, five times the loss.
You lost more than I lost the entire week on that one bet, sir. You lost more than I lost the entire week on that one bet. What'd you lose? Nearly 200? It was like 175 or something like that?
155 out of 685.
155.
So it puts me at a cool 530 Greenybucks. So I've only almost lost half my stack. And we got a long way to go.
Oh man, it took you like 3 races. It was this. Well, how long have we been doing this? 5 races?
Yeah, probably.
Come on, you got the Marvel book. How many have we been doing Greenybucks for?
I don't know.
It's got to be like 5 or so. I got to guess. And you're already half your stack down. Already like half your stack. Toast. He's in trouble. He's on full retreat right now, folks.
This is the 6th race.
Sixth race. And you're
race number
toast.
6.
And you're already down half your stack.
Sorry.
How many we got left?
Oh, a whole bunch. At least double the amount that we've already gone through. So at least 12 more.
What was it, 20? It's a 23 race schedule.
Yeah, what was
we started
9?
this.
This is 10. This is the 10th race. So we got 13 races. Which means I'm in big trouble.
What is my total at?
Well, my total's 530, just for relative terms.
We already heard this. Now let's hear
at
the King's total.
You're at 1,100 even. 1,100.
Oh, you're done. You have no chance.
I don't know about that.
Oh, you're finished. You're going to be out of cash. At your rate you're going, you're going to be out of cash in like the next 2 months by Monza. You're done.
I mean, if I went with Hamilton, Leclerc, Bottas today, I would have had about the 25-1 odds, and I could have taken...
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, son.
It's
Woulda,
just...
coulda, shoulda. Spoken like a true gambler who just got trounced.
We might have to go a little ultra-conservative going forward here. I'm just saying.
Oh, I think so. Oh, I think so, sir.
I don't know if we're going to be in single digits, but, as close as you can get. Some 10s and 20s are going to be coming out. Putting the Benjamins away. Although, in the land of Greentopia, the $100 bills will probably have your face on them at this point. So... We'll see.
Yes, sir.
We'll see. Your laughing face, holding your belly, cracking up on the $100 bill. That's what it would be in the land of Greentopia, where you reign king. For now. It's a long season, but the gap between rich and poor is getting wider, just like in real life. So what you got to say, dog?
There's no difference in Greentopia, sir.
Easy now.
It ain't that green. It ain't that green for some.
All right. 2 weeks in a fortnight. Where we at?
In a fortnight, we will be in Budapest, Hungary, the Hungaroring. I believe it is. Race will be August 1st, if I'm not mistaken. So we will see you in a fortnight's time for the race at Budapest in the Hungaroring. Anything else to add before we close this superb episode out?
You know, my best to Max Verstappen. Hopefully he's recovering already and recovers well. He'll be checked out for the next couple days, probably not a couple weeks. He'll go through some extensive testing. As you said, not many human beings have ever gone into a wall at that speed and survived, so especially unscathed. So crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff. Crazy weekend. Congratulations to Lewis Hamilton winning at home, back in the race, making 2021 a competitive season once again. And we'll be back in 2 weeks, man. Say what you got to say.
In a fortnight's time, we'll see you.
Peace.
Peace.